Uh-oh, my live feed died because I was sleeping at the switch and didn't charge my phone properly. That's going to be a thing. I'll tell you, it will never be boring down here. All right, so you know I'm all feisty today. So Luke and I are, well, Luke's not feisty. He's sweet as sugar. There's the camera, Luke, just in case you wonder where to look. All right, well, I'm not going to wait for this to repopulate before I go on and say. I took the picture of the foot and the fist, right? I'm going to actually see if I can pull that up while I'm talking to you guys. So we'll come back to full screen. I took the picture of the foot and the fist that they had. And Shore is shooting, guy's wearing a skateboarding shoe that is so thick at the back, easily 3/8 to 5/8 inch of material, making the back of the shoe longer. And I'm thinking, you know, you couldn't have picked a picture that had Vans in it that have a nice thin rand. Because if we're talking about finding the right wheelbase, right, and you're talking about, you know, there is a, what's the difference between a 15 and a 15.25 and a 15.75, Luke? That's quarter-inch differences. How is that?
I mean, it seems like it's small, but it usually makes a pretty big difference. The board feels, I think if you're used to something else, you'll step on it and it'll feel sluggish, you know, and then it starts to kind of feel like a Cadillac.
You got to dial in the snap. It's more of a Cadillac.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a board, and then there's another question is, what do you want to do on your board? Because so far we've been trained for 30 years not to want to do anything on our boards but what we're told to do, and that is look at even the new YouTubers, and now they're not getting any quarter here either. The new YouTubers, I like that we get to make media. But I'll tell you this, making media without any critique or intelligence, there's one reason I go into hiding so much, because people hate me. They try to destroy me because, like this, I got barred from entry to the major indoors. Tell them, Luke.
Yeah, we went to the big indoor skate park and we weren't allowed in. Lou wasn't allowed in by the guy sitting at the front desk.
And why?
Because we were making YouTube videos, right? And the guy was all like, you can't do that, or some such.
He said they didn't feel safe with me there because I had shown disrespect to Revive skateboards. This was one of the sub-channel guys, and this went far and wide. Everyone knew this happened because I'm like, I even have a plaque that says I'm kind of a big deal. I never got a call. Revive Skateboards is 20 minutes from my house. They've seen me go through death threats. They've seen me go through. They never called me up and said, hey, you know, we skate. It never happens because people-to-people reality isn't a reality in the big YouTubers. It's not a reality. It's not about people. It is about clicks. So I'm going. I hope someday I have a huge amount of clicks. You know what? Not really. I hope someday my soul is intact and I carry it well. That's what I hope. If there's clicks involved, I don't know. I don't want ads on my stuff. I want you to watch through this without getting a soap ad or an ad for the latest ball shaver. What's going on? You know, I'm trying to watch something, and they've got something on there about manscaping, and now there's one about Lactobacillus reuteri helps you grow bigger. You know, what is going on here? I don't want these ads, and I don't want you to have to deal with ads either, which is, I don't even know. I've been blacklisted all the way to Indianapolis, all the way down to Kentucky, for saying things. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say something. These YouTubers, I love Johnny Geiger. Johnny Geiger is honest. He's happy. And he does the high-tech flip trick thing. Johnny Geiger is like a hero. Okay? That's way in deep, right? Nine Club just did a thing on Johnny Geiger, and it was so positive, and I agree with it. And in fact, I think the Nine Club guys are kind of dumb that they don't know all about Johnny Geiger. I've known about Johnny Geiger going on 5 years. This is great. But when you get on Revive and Braille and they say, oh, you're a new skateboarder, here's how you kickflip every time. First thing, kickflip. Every time, first thing, kickflip. And I know that I grew up before the kickflip was invented. I know. But I'm telling you this, friends. You need to hear it. When the kickflip was invented, all right, skateboarding went from going fast to going slow, from long line to standing in long lines. It went from having a feeling of motion to trying to impress some girl or prove that you're a man. And it was gross. It led to me taking my skateboarding off the grid and having nothing to do with skateboarding until 2001, when the Dogtown thing came out, and all of a sudden I was joined by tons of older guys who really were not, they were like me. We felt the same way. Yeah, we quit skating because it quit being about what we were about. It became more about this wannabe hooligan lifestyle, you know. And how many documentaries do you have to see about the results of that lifestyle before you go, that was some bullshit? You know, your nostalgia over the Big Brother era, you know what? Grow up. And that's not bad language. That's not uncivil. Grow up. So you got these YouTubers who are doing this kickflip first, and you know what? More power to you, because there are kids who have low enough self-esteem to want to measure up, and you can make your money off these kids who want to break their ankles instead of skating fast every day. You're gonna make money off those kids, and nobody has any right to tell you not to. But I have the right to speak and say, I think that's dark. I think that's sad. I think that's less than everything skateboarding can be. And I can kickflip. I don't like doing them. I don't like breaking my ankles. I like skating every day, and I like rolling and grinding. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm done. I got the girl. I've raised men. I'm done. So none of that. So when I come out and I'm talking about this wheelbase thing, I'm going up against a giant monstrosity that's here to confuse you and tell something is science. They're talking about science. Let me tell you about science, friends. Science is the pursuit of demonstrable fact and the process by which, what up, Trisha Patton girly, love you, girl, you caught me in an angry day. Science is a term that refers to a process, and the process through which we achieve scientific results in theorems. And a theory is about as strong as it gets in science, because the process is, if we cannot disprove something, that the degree to which we cannot disprove a hypothesis is the degree to which that hypothesis is reliable. Okay? Well, here's a hypothesis. Oh, you take your foot in a shoe and you put your fist at the tip of your shoe, and that's the wheelbase that you need to have, which just happily falls typically within the non-US made factory production of that branding entity, right?
And can we just say something about that really quick? Is that that guy came out, the guy who did the foot and the fist thing, he said, you know, it came out to about 14 inches. And to me, 14-inch wheelbase is tiny. That is so small, dude. That's terrible to skate. Try going over 6 miles an hour. You're going to feel like you're going to die. That sucks.
It's my propanol. So, I'm not only calling BS on this noise about wheelbases. I'm calling BS on it because it claims to be science. Science is a process through which we achieve reliability in evidence through the trying to disprove something. The very photo in the post that showed the foot in the fist had, I'd say 3/8 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch to 5/8 of an inch. Okay, just really quick, I'm gonna show it to you. Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish.
Hold up.
Kanye West when what's her name won that award? Who was it? Taylor Swift.
I don't know.
All right, here's 3/8 of an inch. Okay, 3/8 of an inch on the back of that shoe is below. Luke is the silent Bob.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh.
Sick.
All right. That's how much I think you're looking at in the Instagram post, which will likely be pulled down, my friends. Likely it will disappear. It's just a fact. This sort of thing just disappears as soon as, and then they'll say, oh, Lou, he's controversial because he's a religious guy. And do you know they spread a huge rumor about me? This was a matter of course. Spread a rumor that I'm leading a religious cult. Where's my money? And how come I only have one wife for 30 years? If I'm in a religious, and who am I? How did it? Really, religious cult? Because what I'm saying is, if the shoe has this much slop on it, and your theory is that, and we know the difference between a 14 and a 14 and a half a 14 3/8, you can feel it.
Yes, you can.
And here's what makes your setup perfect. You make your setup perfect.
True.
You are the magical ingredient. And no science can change that. You can get on a board that's longer than what you're used to, dial it in, and rip. And people go, that person is having more fun than I'm having. I want to be with that person. Oh, you're not having fun because you listened to Jake Phelps for 25 years and you know that you're not legit. And so you exude this negativity. You're gassing out all this inferiority complex because you've been for years and years told what to buy and what to wear and what to look like and who to agree with. You know what? I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good state. That's not what skateboarding meant to me. And I will contend that one time a guy got mad at me. He was a brand owner, former SF pro, EMB, all that. He got mad at me because I said, basically, you know, you think a skateboard company is a guy who sends an electronic file of an electronically drawn graphic and an electronic payment to a faraway foreign factory, gets boxes on the porch, and then shills out those boxes at price A's, B's, and C's. You think that's a skateboard company? Let me show you what a skateboard company is. A skateboard company is someone who cares about you enough to put in the labor and the work. You'd say, oh, well, they're fat and they barely skate. That's one of my skateboard company owning friends was run out of business by the skinny kids and the cool guys who said he's fat and he doesn't even skate anymore. And he made the best skateboards in his discipline around. It was epic. And they ganged up. They ganged up on his riders. You ride for that fat kook. I'm sorry, dude, but your California elite is full of fat kooks. And they're awesome.
Yep.
They're awesome. Fat kooks make the world go round. One of my favorite fat kooks here ever. I say this, I bless his name, Bart Kelly. He's widely hated, disappoint a lot of people, but a lot of the stuff was rumor. And I'll tell you this, that guy, here's why I like Bart Kelly. He taught Birdman Jenkins that when you barge a pool and you cut a link on the fence, you replace the link with a twisty carabiner so that you can't even tell it's been done. And then you can come back again and again and again. You don't just leave the chain hanging. That kind of thing was awesome. And I'm just getting a message off the screen here. I identify as Far Kook, Darren Tyler.
Yes.
As Fat Kook. I'm sorry, but Far Kook works for me because I identify as Alt Kook.
Oh.
I'm a far kook, alt kook, punch a kook. Oh, that's another one. That I'm a Nazi. That was great. Also that I'm a Zionist. That was great too. The same month, Luke and I were in the van. I'm fielding death threats for being a Zionist, and I'm fielding cancellation for being a Nazi all at the same time. Meanwhile, my friend Brian, who runs a group, I had just spent 5 days at his house, and it's a long story and it's fun. All right, friends, I'm just gonna disconnect here. Got 2 videos. Had the phone die because I'm not up to this, man. But publicly, I'm saying that this approach to what is right for you is criticable. It is able to be critiqued. It should be critiqued with some vim and vigor, and that is not uncivil. Those who unquestioningly go in for, look, you can put a white lab coat on it, doesn't make it a scientist, okay? I'm talking about Bill Nye, I might be talking about other people, right? Professing is not the same thing as knowing. It's not the same thing. And if you really want to have a talk about wheelbases, it's not going to be one Instagram post, one and done. Here's my theory, buy my product. Wheelbase is a deeply influential factor in how a board operates because it affects the effect of the lever in the fulcrum on the length and weight of the front. Fulcrum, lever height, lever depth, weight, fulcrum, lever. That's what you're dealing with is a system of fulcrums and lever, and you're advantaging and disadvantaging. What if you put a long wheelbase on, but then you camber? What if you put a short wheelbase on, then you rocker? Yes. When you rocker, you're going to be disadvantaging that fulcrum. You can have a board with a short wheelbase that's just as hard to pop as a board with a long wheelbase by changing the angle of camber and on the and the skateboarders just drink down whatever's poured. Like, man, like, hang in there with me for a minute. And also, somebody have my back, because last time I did this kind of speech, I was surrounded by 14 guys at the spot. Last time I did this kind of speech, I was promised that if I embarrass the mainstream, that I'm going to get killed at my home. I'm not joking. This stuff is deep. And I just, man, there's a lot to this. There's guys who've been canceled, deplatformed, canceled, unpersoned out of skateboarding just for disagreeing with basic mainstream stuff like that. Pool skating is whack and we don't want it in Thrasher magazine. Go back, it's there. All right. I hope you have a good day. I'll be back later. Hopefully, I won't be as angry. This has been good for me. I think I handled feeling angry well. And professors are those who lectures while others are sleeping. Sometimes a professor is sleeping too. Professors, I'm sorry, dude. If we have to get, I might go by Captain Lou, but I'm not a professor. I'm a janitor. I'm a maintenance man. We're getting out wrenches and trying to weld shit to shit here and trying to fix things. Because skateboarding is kind of, skateboarding is kind of slow. Yeah. Skateboarding is kind of slow. You can't call something science that is so easy to disprove, that is so much more nuanced than just that. By the way, shoulder width and height, I'm sorry, friends, you know who's left out entirely on that? Women. Because women's wheelbases need to be measured and need to be scaled according to the width of the hips. It's not just, men have basically equal hips and shoulders, typically. Women tend to have wider hips than shoulders. It is a tendency it's not everyone, not at all. But this is why women of a square figure tend to get like tons of success on their stuff. Longer wheelbases for wider hips, I'm done, I'm out. This is over. There's so much more to say about this, and there's so much less certitude. Anyone who's trying to give you a formula is just selling you something. So far, I'm selling nothing. I'm good friends with Life Skateboards. Okay, there's backward. I'm good friends with Life Skateboards. I believe in what they're doing. What they're doing is what I was doing. What I was doing is impossible. I'm under local embargo. I'm under death. I'm under threat here. There's been no reconciliation. Nothing. I made my local shop mad. Because my local shop was also a board brand, and I made boards and they were better, and now I'm a controversial person because I said so. My stuff was better. My business can't exist. I get threatened. I get menaced. We get assaulted. Donnie gets knocked down, and no one's going to do nothing about it. So I'm with Life Skateboards now, and I'm watching these posts come from the mainstream, from people I actually like. That's the thing. I got people I actually like. I like Paul Schmitt. I care about him as a person. But just because I care about you and I like you doesn't mean you get a pass when you say that was garbage, man. Come on. That's not how it works. It doesn't work by a chart. You get one guy who wants to go fast. You get another guy who wants to go tech. So the tech guy's going to want a shorter wheelbase and a narrower board. And the fast-going guy's going to want some big lopey thing. Right. And why not? Here's why not. Because the industry can't provide that. And if it doesn't exist within their sales rubric, they don't want it to exist at all. So they sell you this bill of goods. I don't think that guys like Paul even know about this. I think they're so cooked in it. They've been in the California, China, Mexicali cartel style of skateboarding where the only options that are available are the options that we offer. Meanwhile, I've got 7 guys right now. That's a number 7. You got 7 guys right. Thanks. Here, let's do 7. My homie. Look at my homie. You got 7 guys right now who are reliable, high-quality makers coming up. They may stay hobby level. They may go company level. But Life Skateboards is a great example of a guy who started hobby level, and he's putting his eggs in the basket, and I'm on it. I just, my brain, my heart, my mind, some of the stuff that just gets paraded out there as authoritative it's just, the real story is so nuanced because you are nuanced. You're different, and doing it differently wasn't an option. Now it is. Yeah. So So destroy the kook. Hey,
Punch
thanks
it
for
up.
joining me for this time. This was an angry rant. I do not regret it. I stand by the intention and the content of my words. And if you have a problem with it, make your own angry rant about what a kook I am. And tell everyone what a jerk I am and how mean I am, or how wrong I am and how washed up I am. And that's just fine with me. It really is. I will not be a person who doesn't care about you as a human. I will not dehumanize you. I will not controversialize you. I will not threaten you or menace you or assault you. I will not push down your friends at the spot. This will never happen. It will never happen. You are safe to respond to my media.
Bigot.
This is Lou Ross, the captain, in danger. Have a great day.